Hello, folks. It's that time again. I love saying things like that because I know that there are people out there who don't really like me, and they're, ooh, it must be so grating to them. So, sorry to grate on your nerves. Laurie Gale, nice to see you. This looks interesting. It's going to be very interesting, and you will see. Let me see. First, I'm going to display this. And this is about Scientology and the flat earth. First, let's just take a little detour and examine whether or not the powers that be are addressing dumb, stupid people. You know, maybe they're addressing, maybe the whole Scientology thing is concocted for dumb, stupid, gullible people. Let's see. 25-foot space simulator. The 25-foot space simulator is a chamber designed for testing spacecraft in space-like conditions, including extreme cold, high radiation, and near vacuum pressure. Built in 1961, it is located at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, California, and has been used to prepare a large number of American space probes prior to their launches. It was declared a National Historic Landmark in 1985 and is on the National Register of Historic Places. Wonderful. Description and history. The 25-foot space simulator is a stainless steel cylinder 85 feet, 26 meters, in height and 27 feet, 8.2 meters, in diameter. But we call it the 25-meter thing, despite, 85 feet and 27 feet. I know. A doorway 15. Now here's this is where we can see whether or not they're talking that they know they're writing for stupid people. A doorway 15 feet, that's 4.6 meters wide, and 25 feet, 7.6 meters high, provides access for bringing test subjects and equipment into the chamber. Huh? You mean That's what a door's for bringing things in and out. It just bring things in and out, yeah, through the door. I mean, they call it a doorway. They could just say a doorway, 15 feet and 25 feet. There you go. Just leave it at that, and people could figure out, all right, so they must move things in and out of that doorway. But no, they actually explain. For bringing test subjects and equipment into the chamber, a personnel access door is built into the larger doorway. You know, like farms? You know, like farmhouses? Yeah, they have a great big double barn door, but then they have a little door for when you don't want to bring in, you know, the cattle or the tractor. Yeah, that's right. What a brilliant idea. So they have a big doorway for bringing in big things. They could have just said, we have a big doorway for bringing in big things. That's right. They explain how you can use a door. Now, I got here by looking at, and I know that the globe believers don't like it when you poke fun at their fantasy. At the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, JPL, NASA. The Jet Propulsion Laboratory is a federal-funded research and development center and NASA field center in La Cañada, Flint Ridge, California, United States, though it is often referred to as residing in Pasadena, California, because it has a Pasadena zip code. Oh, well, that's fascinating. That's just so fascinating. Anyway, right, so history. Let's look at the history. Guggenheim or an Jack Parsons. Oh, let's look at Jack Parsons. Jack Parsons, he was born Marvel Whiteside Parsons. Yeah, so he changed his name to Jack. Didn't want people going, oh, there goes Marvel boy. He was an American rocket engineer, rocket propulsion chemist, Thelemite occultist. We'll look into that later. Associated with California Institute of Technology, Caltech. Associated like he worked there. You know, Parsons was one of the principal founders of both the Jet Propulsion Laboratory and the Aerojet Engineering Corporation. He invented the first rocket, very good. Now, it goes on to say, he was fascinated by science fiction. Now, let's go farther down. And a brief involvement in Marxism, and then converted to Thelema, the English occultist Aleister Crowley's new religious movement. We'll come back to that. Fascination with sci-fi. Oh, L. Ron Hubbard, a sci-fi writer. So, Jack Parsons, fascinated with sci-fi, very fascinated with space. He works at, well, things for going to space. You know, just like somebody who's fascinated with the Lord of the Rings might develop things to go to Middle Earth. So, he's then fascinated with this guy who's developed this thing called Thelema, which is basically, you can manifest things that are improbable and impossible. That's Aleister Crowley, this guy. Yeah, him. He just convinced people, yeah, you know what, if you really put your mind to it, right, and you say these incantations and you do these rituals, you can make it real, including space and distance and Xenu's home world. And then along comes L. Ron Hubbard, rips him off. By the way, I'm not going to read all of this, but L. Ron Hubbard rips off Jack Parsons. But before that, he convinces him, and he listens to some of what Jack Parsons says. And like, oh, I'm going to make a religion out of this. Yeah. Anyway, so Parsons' occult and libertarian writings were published. Wait, where is it? I don't want to miss it because it's so good. Oh, where's his wife? I think I might... here. Right, so right there. In 1945, Parsons separated from Helen after having an affair with her sister, Sarah. When Sarah left him for L. Ron Hubbard, he conducted the Babylon Working, a series of rituals designed to invoke the Thelemic goddess Babylon to Earth. See, a completely made-up thing, but if you do this ritual, you can make it, like, real. Like, no, you can't. That's not really how the world works. and that's L. Ron Hubbard. I'm not going to go into Aleister Crowley. That guy was just a straightforward charlatan endorsed by the mainstream. Yeah, there you go. This guy, that charlatan, he invents a religion called Scientology that's utterly dependent upon space and distant planets. That's right. Now I'm going to stop sharing that and share instead. Wait a minute. Share instead. This will shock you all. That's right, it's me. It's shock. Right. On a serious note, you have this poor chap, Jack Parsons. He's been called Marvel by his parents. Okay, so yeah, it's a poor chap. That was not the head of the football team. Okay, so just we're talking 1950s, 1940s. We're talking a guy called Marvel. He's fascinating. He's a geek, a nerd. Before geek and nerds were like something that was okay to be, because now it's fine to be a geek or a nerd. It's also fine to be transgender and all of those things. But way back then, it wasn't really cool, okay? But never mind. We're not talking about being cool or not. We're talking about a poor, delusional guy who dies by blowing himself up in an experiment. That's right. It's like he blew him. That's how Jack Parsons died, age 37, in his home. He just boom, experiment went wrong. I wonder what happens if you drop this. Boom. That's what happens. So, he's fascinated with space. He's also fascinated with making things that are not really real be real. Like things that don't exist and can't exist, we're forcing them into existing through the Thelema cult. He's got this idea of forcing things into existing from a charlatan called Aleister Crowley, who's like, he's like this kind of guy. Imagine, there's Jesus at a wedding. Oh gosh, there's some commotion over there. What's going on? What's going on? They've run out of wine. What? That traditional thing that we've been doing for thousands and thousands of years from the Romans that have only been here a couple of decades, that they've run out of wine? Oh wait, no, it looks like they've got some more wine. Yeah, I did that. Yeah, hey, they'd run out of wine and now they've got wine. I did that. I made that. It was water before. It was water. Now it's wine. Yeah. That's Aleister Crowley. The kind of guy who's like, knock, knock, knock. Come in. The person walks in like, I knew it was you. That kind of guy. A straightforward charlatan con man. So Aleister Crowley says, I think I know what you've come from. I think I know what you've come for, Jack. And Jack says, well, can you help me with it? And obviously, Aleister Crowley is just a charlatan, so he doesn't know why he's really come. He says, yes, I can. But first I need you to expel it in words, in detail. And then Jack's like, well, what's happening is, right, we keep trying to go into space and we just can't go into space. Yes, I can help you with that. There's this rich. So that's Aleister Crowley convincing Jack Parsons that you can go into outer space, into the stars, in the gaps between those lights. Yes, just big. Yeah, that's right. Because that's how it works, right? Because like from where you are, like draw a little angle, okay? And if you like star there and star there, tiny little angle here, okay? But open the angle as it spreads out, and it turns out to be, in the imagination, so much this. Yeah, that's right. Along comes L. Ron Hubbard. Hey, I noticed you've got a big wallet. Can I see that wallet? Yeah, sure, here you are. Watch this magic trick. Shalabing, shalabam, fwa, empty wallet. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, I can do other things too. Like, get this. You know your dream of going into outer space? It's not really a dream. It's real, it's true, and it's possible. Do you know how I know? Because there was this alien that came from outer space, and he tells him the story of Scientology. Now, Scientology is a bunch of crap. It's not really, well, true or based on anything true at all, like in any way, shape, or form whatsoever. Just like every single one of all of the other religions. It's just based on false stuff. Now, Scientology has this habit of persecuting endlessly Scientologists who leave Scientology. We are flat earthers. We were Scientologists. We believed in space and distance and travelling through the distances and aliens and up their worlds. And then we got some sense and oh my gosh, that's all just a fable. And there are now Scientologists who don't know they're Scientologists, that some of us refer to as globelings, going, you're not allowed. No, you're not allowed to. No, no, no. And that's what's happening, folks. That's literally what's happening. The globelings, aka Scientologists, all of them believing something that comes from a science fiction writer. That's right. You might say, no, no, no. It comes from other writers. Oh, right. Yes. Scientologists, aka every single globeling out there who thinks that the globe is really real, they don't like it when people stop and go, whoa, no, none of that's real. It's all just a bunch of nonsense. And they go, no, it isn't, because, well, you see here, it says M times GF divided by 17,000 million equals yes. Oh, is that an incantation? Is it an incantation? Is that an incantation that tells you Earth's spin and the centrifugal force counteracted upon by gravity with different levels of attraction, less at the equator, more at the north? You think that's true because you have an incantation that tells you that? You're stupid. I think you're very stupid. Here, I'll show you that you're stupid. Look, come. See this Jet Propulsion Laboratory? It was started by a guy who thought that he could just magic things into existence. That's right. He thought he could magic space and going to the moon and all that. He thought he could magic that just by sheer willpower and knowing a couple of crafty little incantations and rituals taught to him by a charlatan who was a Luciferian, a Satanist, called himself the Beast. But never mind that. Forget that. I'm going to show you. Look. Come. See here, Jet Propulsion Laboratory, 25-foot chamber. Okay, let's go to this 25-foot chamber. Click. 25-foot chamber. It's 87 foot by 27 foot. Yeah, I know. Your brain's not going, what? Yeah, you might think that it wouldn't be 87 foot and by 27. You think that it would just like not be that, but it is. And keep reading, you see, it's got a doorway. Now, this is how I know that you didn't realize you were stupid and you didn't realize that those guys know that you're stupid. You see, here, immediately after telling you how big the doorway is, they tell you what the doorway can be used for. Guess what? It can be used for moving things through that doorway. Like, you can take trolleys, refrigerators, sandwiches, shoelaces, anything through that doorway. And you can go through that doorway if you want, and you can come out. And in that doorway, when you close it, it's got another doorway smaller. So you don't have to open the whole big thing if all you're doing is going back in there to retrieve your shoelaces. So, yeah, see how they're explaining to you what a doorway is used for? That's because they think you're a moron. That's right. They know you're a moron. You believe in outer space. You don't know any of the details about the outer space stuff. Because first, the details are invented and you can find out that they're all false because, well, they are mutually exclusive. You know, like Jesus being God and dying and still being God and therefore not dying and all. Yeah, okay. And that's the story, folks. We have Scientologists who don't know that they're Scientologists coming to us flat earthers say, no, you're not allowed. You're not, Then we're like, we don't care about your belief. No, we like genuinely don't care about your belief at all. It's a bunch of cockamamie. It's just baloney. That's right. It was invented by a bunch of people thinking and writing, and then other people read and go, well, if this is true, this. And oh, well, no, that's not true. Okay, well, there's something else must be true, but still about that. Like, oh, look, see this camera obscura? See how the beam, there's information outside the camera obscura. It's a little hole, and it's a back wall. You see how the beam of information goes through the hole, and you can see it back there? See how this has diverged? Yeah, this says that all of your calculations based on light are wrong, every single one of them. Yep, sorry folks. And that's what we have in the real world. I have lots of people highlighting my name in the chat. Hi everyone. George, hi. Dobro večer. Kigos Dima. Yeah, I like that one. Who recorded this? Not this, like, you know, NASA stuff, like Sputnik. Yeah, Sputnik, that's a great one. Sputnik, here's Sputnik being deployed. The heck is recording this? I'm going to show it. Just give me a second. It doesn't take long. You just go Sputnik being deployed or Sputnik. So, Sputnik. Jeez Louise. Right, here's the thing. And this is for educational purposes. So just bear with me. Right, and display capture. There we go. Let's watch this. This is Sputnik, 60 years on from the start of the space race. That's right. You could read that as 60 years on from the War of the Five Armies. Wait, what a minute. What is this War of the Five Armies? Well, yeah, you see, there were humans and trolls and elves and dwarves and goblins. That's 5, see? Yeah, it's from the Lord of the Rings. In fact, it's from The Hobbit. But... oh, that's simple. That's cartoons, obviously, but let's continue.
Beep beep was the sound that started the space race. It was heard for the first time 60 years ago, when on October...
What's this we're seeing now? What's this we're seeing now? Kigos Dima. What's this we're seeing now? You see, for the dim-dims, that's all the globe links. This is a cartoon. It's not really real. It's just a cartoon. Watch.
Simple beep 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 was the sound that started the space race. It was heard for the first time 60 years ago, when on...
this is not cartoon. Keep watching.
October 4th, 1957, the Soviet Union launched Sputnik 1 into low Earth orbit. It was only a metal ball 22 inches or about 56 centimeters in diameter, with 4 antennae sticking out of it. But it had an impact far greater than its size. In fact, it changed the course of human history. The idea...
wow! But who recorded this? You see, that you're seeing is supposed to be the first communication satellite ever deployed. but it only communicated with beep, 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 beep. That's not enough information to transmit video footage. Okay, so let's go back and watch it deploy. But wait, how can we be watching it deploy if there's nothing there to record it deploying? Huh? That's right. But because they know that you're retarded and stupid, you won't ask yourself that question. And if somebody does ask that question, you'll be like, well, I don't understand that. I feel threatened by that question.
But 1957, the Soviet Union launched Sputnik 1 into low Earth orbit.
Ah, bless. That's it. That's all you need to see. What does that mean? It means it's not really, really real. Because you can't have something that's being recorded if there's nothing there to do the recording. You have to have something there recording in order to record what's recorded. See, it's a straightforward relationship between camera and object being, well, recorded or filmed by that camera. What we're seeing is a capsule, no extra arm for a camera or anything like that. No. And this is not footage from some other vehicle that went up alongside Sputnik, so it could record this and then fell to Earth, and then they went and retrieved their video, and then no, this is just propaganda. Propaganda does not actually have to make sense. It doesn't actually work through sense. It works through repetition and fear. That's how propaganda works. Repetition and fear. Those are the only two things necessary. That's right. And the globelings watching this like, well, never mind that. It's still not a globe. It's like, look, there are pondlings like me and most of the people in the chat, and that number is growing exponentially. Not because of people in the street shouting stuff, but from word of mouth, friend to friend, family to family. Hey, have you noticed this? Look at this. The majority of pondlings did not become pondlings by walking about one day on a Saturday. Oh, okay, I think they'll probably have some there, and after that I'm going to pop down there and get a coffee, all right? What? Sorry, what? Yeah, did you know the Earth is flat? What? Yeah, the Earth is flat. Look at these pictures. Like, okay. I would say 99.99999, a big series of nines, percent of the pondlings did not become pondlings because of that kind of thing. I'm just saying. So that kind of thing doesn't really wake many people up. That's right. In fact, the majority of the time, when the street activists go, but the Earth is flat and Jesus is Lord and all of that, when they meet somebody else who's like, yeah, dude, I know the Earth is flat, they go, really? Did you just glean that from the 30 seconds of listening to me? No. Watch the video. I watched this Antonio Subirats guy. Oh, I watched the Matt Fowland or whatever. Oh, no, you didn't, did you? Yes. So, Truth Detective needs hushing. There's somebody called Truth Detective. Hey, folks in the chat, in case you didn't know. When you hover over somebody's name, you get these 3 dots. If you hit those 3 dots, you can just block the person that you don't want to read from. And they can carry on saying whatever it is that they're saying, but you won't be distracted by it. You just won't see it. And once everybody does that, they know, because after a few attempts at trying to, prompt people into responding, after a while, they fail and they wait a little while, and then they come back with a different channel name and try the same kind of tactic. It's all just to distract from what's being said, which is this. The globe is the Church of Scientology. That's right. Why has the Church of Scientology just stayed so utterly quiet regarding the flat earth? Well, because the flat earth says, no, hey, at least with Muhammad and Jesus and Abraham, even Krishna, at least with those, there's history to hide the fact that they weren't real. There's history. You can't go and check. But with space, we can check. We can really, really check. We can go, let's see if the sun's light falls parallel on Earth. Oopsies, it doesn't. Oh dear. Let's see if mathematically the light path from a star billions of light years away can reach Earth, and what path that light would have taken through space. You should be able to model it. Like, oh my gosh, this sounds like cockamamie silliness. You can check. So with the historicity of the religious faiths, the standard monotheistic or even the Hindu faiths, there's so much distance in terms of history that you can't really check. But with current discoveries of space and all of those things, we can check. Now, what I just showed of Sputnik being deployed is the same as if somebody had videoed Jesus from behind at the table at the wedding with the scenario that I just played out, which is, oh, some commotion. Oh, they ran out of wine. Oh no, what are they going to do? Oh, and then somebody just, and you can see on the camera, they open another urn of wine and they start pouring it. And then Jesus going, see, I did that. It would be the equivalent to that. In other words, you'd be able to say, oh, that guy's full of shit. He didn't just make water into wine. The heck? He's just hoping everybody's too drunk to notice what really happened. You know? And that's in a scenario where he was real. He wasn't real. I'm just saying it would be a way of demonstrating that that's not true. Anyway, I'm now looking in the chat. I'm going to read this. What a fucksify. It's honestly coming to the realization that the globe Earth was conjured up through pseudophysics, propaganda, and a lot of gobbledygook. A little critical thought and grounded observation goes a long way. That's all it takes. That's why they're so afraid. Because you don't have to be a mathematical whiz kid. You don't, and you can be. You can be a mathematical whiz kid, look at it and go, no, full of shit. You can. I mean, you're not excluded. If you're very left-brained, you can still see it. But it's so simple to see that they're like, no, we have to shout louder for people to not hear the sensible flat earthers, pondlings, going around. Have you ever checked if light actually from the sun actually falls in parallel rays? Have you ever actually checked? Have you checked? Simple. It's not like, have you got a laboratory where you can mix various different chemicals that would have the authorities knocking on your door if you started purchasing them? And never mind that. Have you got a lab where you can check to see if rockets can go off into space? No, you don't need that. It's like, can you see? If so, if you know what the sun is, like that thing in the sky, and light that comes from that direction, have you ever checked the light? Now, yesterday I said I was going to present an experiment today, and I was going to absolutely prove my theory, which is not really a theory, it's just a report on observable phenomena. And I was going to do this experiment and show it to everyone. I messed it up. I will do it again, but I have to give it some time. And when I show you, you'll go like, oh, that's interesting. Now we understand why you had to give it some time. But for those of you who might be going like, what the heck is this? Why didn't you just repeat it there and then? Just imagine for the sake of argument, that the discussion, and this is not the discussion, imagine that the discussion, the video, was going to show crystal clear water and milk being dripped into it and watching it like diffuse. and then some milk just fell into it before you had a chance to record the clip. Okay, that's a very poor example, but when I show you, then this example will make sense. Because obviously, if that was the example, you just get some more water, right? So, but regardless of that, Scientology and the flat Earth. Why do the globelings resent the pondlings? Because the pondlings are equivalent to ex-Scientologists who have left Scientology, who now, having left Scientology, go, and you know what else they do? They do this. That's right. And you know what else they do? They do that. And you know what? Whilst they're doing this and that, guess what else they do? They also do this. Yes, that's right. Go and check. And what do the American and British government do about the Church of Scientology? Nothing. Why not? Because the Church of Scientology uses smears. That's right, smears to keep people in line. True story. Unsalted 67, quit your cult, globelings. Yeah, or stay in it. Stay in it, but your numbers are growing smaller and smaller. And this is another thing I wanted to say. Propaganda, just repeating stuff that's not true, is what the Scientologists, the globelings do. Just repeat stuff that's not true that people can go and check or question and then check and find, hey, that wasn't true. But they shout it very loudly and very consistently and everywhere. And it's difficult for people to go, oh, hold that. I need some quiet from all this background noise. And in that quiet, contemplate and go, right, I'm going to check that specific thing they said. I'm going to check that. Turns out that specific thing they said is false. No, parallel rays from the sun, Eratosthenes. Yeah, no, not possible. So, it's very constant. The propaganda from the globe and the Scientologists. The flat earthers who go around loud hailing propaganda of the flat earth are the same people. They want people to believe what they're saying. They don't want people to actually go and test. They will say, you can go and test, but they don't want people to go and test. You know, like, you can go and test everything. Really, can I test your ID? Well, why do you want to test my ID? Well, because I think you might be a scam artist. You know, I think you might be an agent. I want to check your background. I want to check your school. I want you to put me in contact with school friends of yours, and I want to see their school friends, and that's, yeah, come on, if you're hiding nothing. Anyway, what do you think of the Mercury Sun transit tomorrow over the line? What I think of it is nothing other than you have a holoprismatic tube of the sun, which is a convergence point of tubes. The stars and the planets are the same, okay? And you have this convergent point that we call Mercury, and it's going to, here's an ethereal tube, and here's a smaller ethereal tube that's going to go through this ethereal tube. That's all it is. Nothing more or less. It's not a little ball in front of it that's going to go in front of the sun. That's all it is. Remember, the globe community want to recognize that Einstein and Newton studied the Kabbalah, but they never mentioned that in the science box. Why, I wonder? That's right. What's the Kabbalah? Good point, Flat Earth Data. What's the Kabbalah? Or Kabbalah? What is it? It's basically an older version of Thelema. That's right. It's basically just an older version. Yes, you can conjure a form that will manifest things and let that form go and have that form go and organize the world so that it manifests whatever. That's Kabbalah. Yeah. You can write names of angels and sleep on the bed. Yeah, this is the angel of vengeance. That person really annoyed me. Yeah, I cast this angel of vengeance on that person. 10 years later, oh, that person had an accident. Aha, it was my angel. So yes, Fata data, good point. Heyo, Judib Bas, Shalom. Ma shalomech. I'm just looking in the chat now, folks. Stuart Mackenzie, like fiber optics crossing paths, Antonio? Yes, except the fiber optics, they're prismatic. The fiber optics would be prismatic tubes. They're not tubes that have a specific location in space. Like, think of this. If you were to cross a tube, a rather big tube, and you cut it and looked into it, you'd see a rainbow. If it was, there's the high frequency of the sun, we call the sun, the high frequency of the day, there's the rainbow. But you move across and the rainbow moves across, because the rainbow is holoprismatic. It's not actually there. So when we say crossing, like a fiber optic, we think in terms of something that has a physicality, a shape to it, and something would have to enter and cross that shape. It's only that in phenomenological terms. In reality, it's just energies that are playing with each other, interfering with each other, if you will, or interacting with each other. And we can only interpret them as we see them. We see them as light, so we interpret them. The Globelings see them as a big ball of impossible gas with a small ball of impossible velocities, because in case you didn't know, Mercury does this whoa, 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 whoa orbit around the sun. Yeah, I know, it might seem impossible, but no, that's their story. Going in front of the sun. And I'm saying, no, the sun isn't that, and neither are any of the planets or the stars or any of the other stellar lights. They're just holoprismatic phenomena that we can only interpret as the lights that we see. We don't know what makes them, what their ultimate source is. Do they actually have is there a purpose to them, or do they exist as a just happenstance? I lean towards they exist necessarily, not happenstance. But then when you look at nature and you go, okay, well, it seems to be that you're saying things that exist out of necessity. So necessarily. Really, let's look at everything. Does everything exist out of necessity? And you can stop, and with the mindset of the what's it called? The Stoic, say yes. You don't have to look further into it. Just yes. That thing exists. Therefore, it's necessary that that thing exists. Yeah, but you can extinguish it and nothing happens. No, you can extinguish it, then it exists as an extinguished thing, but you don't change the fact that it did exist until you extinguish it. Then we get into the world of metaphysics. Now, the globe is not metaphysics. I hear people saying that. It's not metaphysics. I'm going to show you what it is. Just give me a second. You see, metaphysics is the study of real things that cannot really be quantified correctly. You can't say how much consciousness in a thing or in a thought, how much weight in a thought, or how much voltage in a thought. So that's metaphysics. Give me a second. I'm going to show you what the whole world of the science of the globe actually is. It is not metaphysics. To say that it is to show, one, a misunderstanding of what metaphysics really is, and two, a smearing of what metaphysics is. Metaphysics is a real thing. We all experience it. We all have dreams, and we all ponder upon those dreams. To say, oh, because you can't quantify it very much, it's just a nothing. It's like, no, 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 no. So, I'm trying to, yes, here. This is what the globe is. It is not metaphysics, it is pataphysics. Pataphysics or pataphysics, French, pataphysique, is a difficult to define literary trope invented by French writer Alfred Jarry. One definition is that pataphysics is a branch of philosophy or science that examines imaginary phenomena that exist in a world beyond metaphysics. It is the science of imaginary solutions. Pataphysics is a concept expressed by Jarry in a mock scientific manner with undertones of spoofing and quackery. In his book of fiction titled Exploits and Opinions of Dr. Ferstroll, Pataphysician, in which Jarry riddles and toys with conventional concepts and interpretations of reality. Another attempt at a definition interprets pataphysics as an idea that the virtual or imaginary nature of things, as glimpsed by the heightened vision of poetry or science or love, can be seized and lived as real. Jarry defines pataphysics in a number of statements and examples, including that it is the science of imaginary solutions, which symbolically attributes the properties of objects described by their virtuality to their lineament. A practitioner of pataphysics is a pataphysician or pataphysicist. This is the science of astronomy, cosmology, and theoretical physics. Pataphysics. Looking for solutions to imaginary things. Looking for imaginary solutions to imaginary or imagined things. True story, right there. There. So, folks, where am I? Where's the thing? Where's the chat? There's the chat. This is what happens. We're living in a world right now that's being run by Scientologists. I said it. The world is being run by Scientologists. Now, lots of people say, no, the world's being run by the Jews. Like, oh, okay. No, the world is being run by the Muslims. Okay. No, the world is being run by the Marxists. Okay. No, it's being run by the Chinese. Like, okay. No, not really. In truth, the world is not being run by anyone. I just said it's being run by Scientologists to put a kind of spin on it. The world is not run by anyone. Think, just stop a minute and think, what would the world being run mean? Because you're going to get to a point where your definitions of orchestrations and mechanisms and musts and laws, and it breaks down. You can't regulate absolutely everything. For instance, watch. That, there's no way of regulating that. Of saying, no, you shall not take a drag on your cigarette on YouTube. You can't regulate everything about the world. And the world being run by would mean everything regulated, not the world to a certain degree run by. Like, oh, okay, well, if that's what you mean, that the world is to a certain degree run by, then Specify. Are you talking about the world of commerce? Are you talking about the world of love? Are you talking about the world of the bees and the insects and pollen? Are you talking about the world of literary agents? What is it that you're talking about? Because you're certainly not talking about the entirety of the world, because there isn't even such a thing as an entirety of the world. We have our pond, but that's only our little pond. That's parochial. It'd be like saying, you know, hey, I've never left my land. That's the entirety. But no, there's more. There's our pond, there's more. The world isn't just our pond, there's more. And you can never define the whole thing. You'd have to survey the whole of it in order to say, aha, there you go, we've surveyed all of it. But by the time you get back, everybody's died. And you were just a lone person that went off to survey the whole of the world. So, anyway, now I'm looking in the chat. CFR, Trilateral Commission, and Henry Kissinger ruined everything. Okay, ruined everything else. Jews! Right, let me just put this in context. Why do so many people have problem with Jews? If you've actually had personal experience of Jews and they did a dirty on you, then you can rightly say, that Jew did a dirty on me. You can't say, and therefore all Jews. Now, if in your life experience, Rick, 1776, sorry. If in your experience, a Jew did something nasty to you, are you comparing that Jew and the nasty thing with the nasty things that Christians and Muslims might have done to you? Or are you just fixating because it's easy to scapegoat a small, weak, easily identifiable group? That's right, let's all be proud, huh? Let's identify a small, weak group and say it's them. That worked before. No, not very well. It seems to never really work. The Jews always, there's problems, it's the Jews. Get them out of Barcelona. Get them out of Spain. Get them out of Poland. Get them out. They get them out. Problems continue, they just stop blaming it on the Jews because they've got them out. Problems continue. Jews keep existing. And then problems happen. It's the Jews. You know, in China, they don't blame it on the Jews, they blame it on the Muslims. That's right. Why? Because there aren't any Jews in China, really. I mean, there might be a couple of wandering Jews, but there's some Muslims in China. So guess what they do in China? Blame the Muslims. That's right. There's a little bit of social... everything is not working perfectly fine in China. That's because the Chinese purity of mind is being polluted by this insipid, insidious obedience to this other thing called Islam. We must make them stop it. True story. Go and look. So that's what happened in the real world. I've had the dirty done to me by Jews. They were English. And they weren't Jews. It was a person was Jewish. The company did the dirty on me. The company wasn't Jewish. It was a British company. There are Chinese doctors who've been brought to England by British non-Jewish companies and used to slave doctors. True story. They all went, the whole thing collapsed after a long investigation, but never mind that. This is Doctor and Herbs. Some of you British might remember them in shopping malls. Now, in the world of the Muslim, who gets blamed more for problems? The Jews or the Christians? Well, it depends where you go. Depends where you go. And second, depends whose reports you're reading. You see, if You're reading the reports from Christians. Oh, it's the Christians that are all being hard done to. If you read reports from the Jews, like, it's the Jews being hard done to. What's the truth there? The truth is, there's shit everywhere all the time, and people are continuously blaming small groups that have sometimes absolutely nothing to do with it. But you repeat it because you heard it, and you have this broken part of your brain that can't see very clearly, and you think, devil in Jews. That's what happens. And get this, people, the majority of the people who blame the Jews or blame any other small group, the majority of the people who blame them ultimately say that group are doing the work of the devil. What does this mean? It means that the people doing the casting of blame are Christian, because the Jews don't really believe in the devil. Or possibly even Muslim, because they don't believe in the devil. So Rick writes, don't be stupid. Talmud, that's Muslims are human, you and Goy, cattle a tax farm. Ugh. Rick, if you don't know the etymology and if you don't know what you're talking about, just stop talking. Did you know in the Talmud, okay, hey, Rick 1776, 1970. Did you know in the Talmud it says there was Adam and the farm? Yes, Del, Beyond the Imaginary Curve, pointed this out yesterday. You see, Eve in Hebrew means various different things. It means land, it means taken out of, it means rib, and it means farm. So you can just choose which one of those meanings. Now you can take goy and say goy, it means cattle for slaughter. Is that what goy means? Yeah, that's it. That's all it means. Wait, does it not have any other meanings? Because it seems like most Hebrew words have a whole series of meanings, you stupid person. Anyway. Truth Detective writes, the Jews worship the devil. Truth Detective, you're a Christian, am I right? Owned. Just owned. Just there, right there. You're owned, Truth Detective. Femicius, the dancing Israeli story is a red herring for elementary level 911 researchers. Yeah. Why would there be, which by the way, there was, Israelis dancing on a van being recorded, but the recorded video gone, but never mind, the reports of them, and then arresting them back in Israel, and yeah, we were there, yeah. Rick 1776. No, dim, it's you that's stupid. Why? It's like this. You guys, you're going to America, yeah? You're going to New York, you're going to be working, yeah, right. Give you a call, and we'll tell you to dance. So like, okay, boom, hey, yeah, guys, get on your van. Yeah, get on your van and just dance. Dance like Arabs happy that America has just had its nose blooded. Go on, they dance. There you go. Must be the Israelis. Must be. Can't see the hand of the Vatican there anywhere. No, of course not. Listen, the Jewish faith doesn't proselytize. It doesn't want to grow. Listen. The Jewish faith, the Jewish religion, it does not want to grow and include more and more people. Of the three, Judaism, Islam, and Christianity, Judaism's the only one that says, no, proliferate as much as you want. Leave us alone. Right? But the Jewish faith wasn't collapsing. What faiths were collapsing? Islam and Christianity were collapsing. Oh dear. Oh, who's benefiting from 9/11? Is it the Jews? No. Is it the Christians and the Muslims? Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Dumbass. Anyway, there you go. Didn't Lilith want to be on top? Is that a reference to Frasier? I'm just, there's comments for me to allow, and there's some very funny comments. Wait, Dim Dim writes a book about the sun, but can't even pronounce the word sun. Oh, really? Truth Detective. How is it pronounced? Is it pronounced San? Is it? The Book of the Sun, Metatron and Zohar, the god figures in the Kabbalah. It is worshipped by the pretender Jews. This is associated with Zionism. Jared Kushner's office is filled with it. Yes, it is. All of that. So, this is Scientology and the Flat Earth. The cockamamie craziness of the belief systems within Scientology are just cockamamie belief systems within Scientology. So there's the Zionist, and there's the, oh yeah, it's this Rubik's Cube God. It's this, what's it called? A three-sided pyramid. Oh, I've forgotten the word for it. I'm going to look in the chat. A three-sided pyramid. So a pyramid that has three sides instead of four. Oh, I forget the name for it. That's God, as described in the Bible. Antonio, share the money. They are paying you. Oh, who's paying me, Rick? Dim Dim. Who's paying me? The Jews. Are the Jews paying me? For God's sake. So, thanks, by the way, for pointing out the craziness in the flat earth. You see, I'm against bullshit in the globe. I'm bullshit in the flat earth. Bullshit like the Christian element, the Muslim element, the Jewish element. All of it. Bullshit. Flat Earth Data, the Book of the Sun. Ironic, the building for Jared Kushner's office is located at 666. I wonder if Copernicus added the 666 because it's associated with a beast, 666. It's a good point. Why would they put 666 in the Bible? It's predictive programming. You put some, look, the guys who wrote the Bible were the Pagan Caesars. They were the Caesars of Rome before the Christians, during the Christians, and they've been doing it all along. Those guys were incredibly high IQ. And those guys would write themselves jokes and just mock each other. They would literally mock other ruling families. Think about it. Just think about, forget the Romans and the Caesars for now. Just think about the European royal houses. Just that. The European royal houses, what would they do? They would write to each other messages. They would challenge each other to stuff. They would propose parties. They would propose wars. You know how when you had one great big army here and another great big army here and they fought? You know how it turned out that there was one great big army here and another great big army here? It wasn't by coincidence. It's not like there was a big army just wandering around and spontaneously, without, railway travel or anything like that, spontaneously a great big army there to challenge them. No, they would write to each other. Yeah, we're going to meet you in that great big field on this day. Be ready. Oh, okay. So, writing and explaining and describing and joking and coaxing is part of what these big houses have done. We see it being done right now through the narrative of the mainstream media. They're writing the narrative, which is, all these things are great, and everybody's like, no, they're not, it's freaking crap. And all these people are evil. Like, no, you're wrong. And they're still doing it now through the mainstream media. Back then, when the Caesars were writing, outdoing each other on ludicrousness of the faith of the lands that they were taking, oh my God, these guys think, wait a minute, wait, let me just get this straight. So according to those guys, there was a very beautiful woman, right? And one of the gods fancied her. Yeah, the sea god, right? He fancied her, right? But the sea god's wife didn't like that she was so sexy, right? So she made her into a snake-headed person called Medusa. Huh. That's what those guys, that's what the Greeks who brought us Eratosthenes, that's what they believe, is it? God, we can play with those guys. Guess what? Zeus, he made himself into a golden shower and got a woman pregnant. Wait, no. He made himself into a pine needle, yeah, right? Floating on a river. That's, yeah. He made himself into a pine needle, and there was a lovely, lovely woman bathing, and the pine needle went and pregnanted her. Yes. And wait, another time, this is what they would actually write. And then they got to, like, monotheism. Whoa, wow, we can really play with this. And what did they do? They really played with it. Let's say there's a small group there that says everybody else is a piece of shit. That's right. That group there. Let's just write that they tell each other that everybody else is a piece of shit. Yeah. And then we'll let everybody see this. And we'll say, hey, look at what they say about you. And then you have Rick 1776, retardo Macfardo, hasn't stopped 2 minutes to think about anything, going, yeah, no, I mean, I heard that they say everyone's a piece of shit. And it's so transparent too, it's so easy to see. Cold Steel Truth, it's a Cheshire accent, you dumb fuck, truth detective. Oh no, you're not allowed to say son like that. You're supposed to say san. Oi. Anyway, I'm looking. Curioso catracho, ¿qué pasa? David Banner, sounds true, Antonio. Could you elaborate on what? David Banner, could I elaborate on what? Sorry. Right. Rick, 1776, right. Yeah, 8, thought about it. The number 8. Instead of I, no, the number 8. Interesting way of, but anyway. Yes. So it's also true, writes Flat Earth Data, that Ein Sof is a ball, that a living God, and teaches Earth is a ball, and there is antipodes at 1776. You see, this is, so I showed in my previous channel, the one that was coming close to 20,000 subs, that the Vatican now says, the Genesis says, okay, the Genesis says, and in the beginning God made things that separated the waters above from the waters below with a dome. Like, I've read the Bible, I've read the King James Version, I've read the what's it one, of the Protestants, the Anglican ones, the Good News Bible. Doesn't say anything about dome. The heck? Yeah. But now, yeah, dome. Oh, is it a dome? Yeah. What's it made of? Magic. Oh, okay. Have you tested that it's a dome? How do you know it's a dome? Have you traced its outline? Or is it just a thing that somebody who was making stuff up said? Let's remember, this is how it goes, right? And this is the Bible of the Jews. So let's remember. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. And God, that's how it starts. That's the point at which anyone hearing this for the first time would say, whoa, how do you know? The answer to that question is, it's written, that's why, which is actually used by Monty Python, okay? In The Life of Brian, it's written, that's why. Right. Who wrote it? God wrote it. No, he frickin' didn't. Who wrote it? Somebody. Well, it's written, so it was written, right? Yeah, you can see it's written, yeah. Therefore it was written, right? But by whom? Well, by somebody who knew. By scientifically. It was written by scientifically. Receives messages from the Lord. Flat Earth data will all go back to the church. You watch. It will. It's the same people. It's the same. There was no... Look, just so some of you know this. There are Jewish Israeli scholars who've had their work tested, like peer-reviewed, by American Jewish scholars and by non-Jewish historians too. They've looked at the information that these Israeli Jewish scholars have conducted. The result is there was no Exodus like in the Bible. The Bible is invented, and this is their Bible. So the Torah, okay? The Torah is a combination of stories from the Middle East and from Egypt. It's a combination of stories. That's right, you have stories from Persia and you have stories from Egypt combined. That's this Talmud, aka Old Testament. Yeah. And this is Jewish scholars. They know it's nonsense. They know, yeah, it's not really true. Now, if you choose to use the Torah, like you might choose to use the I Ching and just have yourself give you whatever answers it is that you're looking for, then go ahead and do that. You could do the same with the New Testament. You could do the same with the Quran. You could do the same with the Lord of the Rings. You could do the same with any book. As long as it has a complex enough story, you can ask yourself a question, tell yourself, reading just one line from the page that you open at random, just one line, and you'll have the answer. So you ask yourself the question, you frame it perfectly. You open whatever book, you put your finger, and you read the first line, whatever the line is. Close the book, but there you go, that's the answer. Got nothing to do with the book. The book is just a tool. The Talmud is not the Old Testament, Antonio. Old Salter 667. I did not say the Talmud is the Old Testament. I said the Torah. Anyway. Yeah. Oh, what's the shape? Damn. In the Bible, at one point, it's in the book of Revelations, there's a description of God on his throne. God has 4 sides, 4 faces, with 1 letter on each face. He's also the colour of amber and amethyst and emerald. He's a multicoloured, triangular shape sitting on a throne. That's right. Where do you think Douglas Adams got the idea for a hyper-intelligent shade of blue caught in a prism? From the Bible. In The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the president of the universe, the head honcho of the universe, is a hyper-intelligent shade of blue caught in a prism. It has a deputy, which is A for Bibelbrox. Okay, that's the. It comes from the Bible. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, just to save people there, I'm going to hide someone. Hide use on this channel. There you go. You're going to go and have to be a malcontent elsewhere. Anyway. Yes, true, folks. So you might get your favourite flat earther telling you Jews bad. That's it, just Jews bad. Oh, okay. You might get others saying Christians bad. Oh, okay. Muslims bad. Okay. But unless you stop to see whether or not what they're saying has any validity to it, has any truth to it, then you're just going to repeat something you heard from the standpoint of an ignoramus. So, Christians bad? No. Christianity bad? Yes. Some Christians bad? Absolutely. Unless you think paedophilia is fine, which I don't, personally. Islam bad? Yes. All Muslim bads? No. Some Muslim bad? Yes. Judaism bad? Yes. All Jews bad? No. Some Jews bad? Yes. Atheists? Atheism bad? Don't know really. Some atheists bad? Yes. All atheists bad? No. Some atheists good? Yes. Some Jews good? Yes. Some Muslims good? Yes. Some Christians good? Yes. So what the hell does the religion have to do with the goodness of people? Well, nothing much. We just like to pretend like it does. Because if we didn't, then people would say, wait a minute, so I can be good without all of this cockamamie Hail Marys and whatnot? Well, then I'm going to be good without all of that. There you go. No, but if you do that, you won't come to church and give us your money. Wait, truth detective. You're going, because you're a dim-dim. There you go. Hide user. Truth detective. Like, wow, it's like a kind of the kind of name like a sleeping warrior, one of these stupid names. Truth detective. Oh, right. As opposed to a what? Lie detective. Okay, but wait, wouldn't a lie detective be also doing kind of like truth detecting? Anyway. Judith Bass, lovely show. Toda raba. And I know that there will be people there going, oh, he is such a Jew. Nope, I'm not Jewish. I would love to be Jewish. I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again right now. I would love to be Jewish. I would. Why, Antonio? Just so I could rub it in people's faces. You see, the normal people that are not retarded and are not religious, if you say, I'm a Jew, you know, they go, oh yeah, and then that's it, okay? Then if you're interacting with that kind of people, you're not even going to say, I'm a Jew. But with the retardeds, yes, and Jesus this and Jesus the other. Who? That Jew. No, he wasn't a Jew. He's like, yes, he was. Oh, was he really? I don't know. Was he? Well, no, he wasn't a Jew. He was a... Right, wait a minute. It wasn't even real. It's a story, you know. Just like the rest of the Jewish stuff. Yeah, just a story. Yeah, make little prayers, put in your forehead, transmit information to the universe. Let's discuss the Sikh. Okay, so who are the Sikh? The Sikh, from India. What do they believe? They believe that there was this guy, okay, who He just figured all kinds of stuff out, received information from the universe, from God, and the information that he received kind of molded his spirit, and then when he died, that spirit went and became another guy, and that other guy went around saying, oh yes, and all these other things. These were gurus. And then that guy died, and another guy, and then that, and all of these were gurus of the same spirit. It was the same spirit, like a hand in a glove. First this glove, now this glove, now this glove, and eventually just tired of being different gloves. Okay, so instead that spirit made itself into a book, into a scroll. That's right, it's a scroll. Yeah, that the spirit that was those gurus is now this scroll. Yeah, I know it might sound like craziness, but no, it's true. Yep, and you have to treat the scroll with respect, okay? And the scroll will listen to you, and it will grant you things as long as it's in alignment with what it wants, right? Yeah. But will the scroll one day become another guru? Don't know. Possibly. I went to a Christian christening, obviously. They're christening the child, and they're saying, not for the child, but for the grown-up morons. And now I'm going to put this white cloth over the child, and we can take this white cloth to mean the light of God. Yeah, a white cloth. This white cloth, you might think it's just like a white cloth that was made out of cotton and bleached. Yeah, well, this white cloth, it's now not a white cloth. It's now the love and light of God. Watch. Oh, the baby is now wrapped up in the love and light of God. Put that to the side. Should we eat some Jesus? Yeah. Come on, let's all gather together and eat some Jesus. Yeah. This doesn't taste very Jesus-like. This tastes like very dry wafer bread. Never mind that, it's Jesus. Is it really? Yes! Oh, so should we talk about the craziness of the Jews? And that's why I would love to be a Jew. I would love to. I mean, I actually went to a rabbi to tell him I think I was misplaced. Like, true story, I've told this before, I'm going to tell it again. I wanted to be a Jew, just because I think it would be fun to say to people, I'm a Jew. So what? Wait, also, in my defense, I also thought this. If I ever get arrested, and I said to the police, you're only doing this because I'm Jewish, I'm sure the police will go, oh, wait a minute. Really? They'll think, oh shit, he's Jewish, he's got to know lawyers, that's for sure. Probably one of his cousins is a freaking crown freaking judge or something. Anyway, yeah, true story. So I went to see a rabbi, the kind of rabbi in the kind of, not a synagogue, it's like a center. It's like a Jewish law center. There's like the synagogue for worship and stuff, and then there's like a social club with a gym and a ballroom and the law part where people go, is it okay if I do this? That kind of stuff. I don't know, I'm not a Jew. Anyway, so I go there and I find out what do I need to do to become a Jew. And they say, oh, well, you need to go and talk to this rabbi. So I go to see this rabbi. And I say, so, I think that I'm a Jew. I don't want to become a Jew. I'm just forced to face the fact that I am a Jew caught in a Gentile's body. And he chuckled a bit and said, tell me about it. Well, it's like this. You know how, because before that, the Israeli had won the Eurovision Song Contest with a horrible, horrible song by an ugly, ugly woman that turns out wasn't a woman, it was a transgender. So, which is a man who wants to be a woman. So I said, well, you know how Israel transgender, and that means God made a mistake, right? He had the spirit of a woman, put it in the body of a man. That was a mistake. Surgery fixed that, right? I think God made the same kind of mistake, and he took the soul of a Jew and accidentally put it inside a Gentile. So I think that we could probably just dispense with all of the learning the Torah and all the prayers and stuff, and just make me a Jew on the paperwork, and then give me a Ben David or Ben Adam name, and then I'm a Jew. Anyway, it didn't work, but I wanted it to work, and if it had done, I'd be like, yeah, I'm a Jew. Oh wait, according to some people, and this is what happens in the world of crackpot craziness, according to some people, this man is not a real man. No. According to some people, this man is just a very, very ugly woman who wanted to become a man and wanted to play itself off as a man. Yeah, that's right. Because some people have said, look, see those hands? Those are not the hands of a man. Those are the hands of a woman. Like, you wouldn't think that if it was coming towards you in this shape. No, you wouldn't. You were saying, oh my gosh, he punches just like a man. Anyway. 1,000 Zasto, you're our rabbi, Antonio. That would be so funny. Flat Earth Bear, George Carlin got it. Yeah, it's all just to... Hey, here's a thought, okay? I've really enjoyed George Carlin. I thought, brilliant. What did George Carlin do? If you stop and think about it, what did George Carlin do? He went on TV, he was shown, he wasn't gagged, okay? And people might say, it's because it was before the time when they would gag comedians saying, no. So, George Carlin, we've all seen, went and said, you guys are nothing. You are owned. You're being made into retardeds and you're owned by the big corporations. That's what he did. Now, why was he promoted so much? Because that's what he was saying. If he'd been saying, hey, guys, you know there are people who think they own you, but you can really correct that by slashing their tires. You can just, slash the tires. You don't go to jail forever. You just slash their tires and suddenly they get a wake-up call. That's right. Just with slashing off the tires. You don't need to set things on fire. Just tire. Sorry, inconvenience. Sorry. Looks like you don't quite own me. It looks like we all have independent power that you tried to put in a little corral. Yeah. That comedian wouldn't be walking around saying anything. That's right. So just thought I'd point that out. Because I have really enjoyed watching George Carlin. And then sometime ago I thought, wait a minute, I'm actually hearing this a bit more clearly now, what he's actually doing. He's there shouting at people, telling them, you are nothing. You are nothing. You are nothing. Not very dissimilar from the Scientology saying, you are an insignificant little brief instant in time in this ball, which is itself an insignificant brief space in time, in an infinitely brief space, all of it insignificant. It looks like the thing that they're the most afraid of is significance. People seeing significance in themselves and in others. That seems to be the thing that people are afraid of. Significance. That's just, to me, it's fascinating. Because once you see it's very, very obvious. Wingnut writes, unemployed painter versus the world. Very good, Wingnut. I hope you feel nicely empowered by that. Do you? That rush of power that you just felt. Very good. Significance. So somebody called Wingnut, I have such significance that instead of just watching, they thought, oh, no, this person is compelling me to write something. And they've gone and exercised that power. Very good. But the significance, it seems to be like the powers that be, the Scientologists, who like to give the impression that they run everything, like to give the impression that everybody else is powerless, then the only way to get power is to be them, become them kind of thing. They really don't like it when people don't go along with it and say, no, I think you're wrong. I think that's not true. And I think I can show you. Look, psst, your tire's burst. So, okay, look, there's a guy called Wingnut there in the chat who is very easy. Hide user on this channel. Wingnut, you'll have to come with a different channel. Sorry, pal. So significance. Now, there are people who say we should seek to work for something bigger than ourselves. This is a creed of, or motto of the more of the higher order religious, who say, look, it doesn't matter that the stories are false. It doesn't matter that the background, it doesn't matter that all of those things are false. What's important is for you to think, one, you're not it, okay? You're not the big honcho, but there is a bigger thing that you can contribute to, a biggerness. If you think that biggerness is improvement, benevolence, good thoughts, good wishes for fellow human beings and for the future, if you think that that bigness is something you can contribute to, then contribute to it. But don't go around thinking that you're the hot shit. And that thought, there is a bigness, is true. You can call that bigness truth. You can call that bigness existence. You can call that bigness time. You can call that bigness history. It doesn't. There's a whole range of bignesses that are really, really true, that really exist, that really are extant, that you are a part of. You don't have to give it a name, just as long as you realize that. So, go ahead and do your best. And what the Catholics say, no, you have to do it through the Vatican. And what the Church of England, you have to do it through the Church of England. No. All of this division. Oh, really? I don't think that's right. And when you say that, it's like, well, you're not speaking at our venue. You're not this, you're not that. It's just, it's funny. Sparkly, hello, I seem to be late again. Bugger. By the way, I've monetized my channel. Isn't this peculiar? Today, I get a thing saying, congratulations, you can now join our partner program. Click here to monetize your channel. And I go, right, I'll monetize my channel because I bet that pushes my thing so it gets viewed by more people. So, monetize. Takes a while. I start the hangout. The first few comments say, yay, I got a notification this time. Like, huh, interesting. So for anybody saying, why have you monetized your channel? It's like, that's why. I don't do this to talk to myself. If I wanted to, I'd just be keeping a video diary. I do this to reach other people in the hope that it will either start a domino effect or a cascade that will end up resulting in something nice, cool, interesting being found or experienced by the people listening, or that it will have an echo effect and cause a cascade out that comes back and ends up with somebody going, look at what I found, which is also what happens in the real world. People send me messages, check this beam out, check this thing out, check this double sun, like real double sun, like hiding it with one finger. Here's the real things. George was a well-enlightened system player. He was allowed to do that. Yes, system player. He's playing the system. How do I tell these people that they're owned? Well, just tell them, dude, you're owned. But the truth is, you're not owned. You're not owned. Nobody is owned. Like, think of this. Slavery. There are people right now on earth who are slaves. they think they've been told that they belong to the person that's telling them they belong. Like, just think of it. It's like, wait a second, wait, let me get this straight. You say that you own me because you bought me or whatever. So I'm a being that is owned by you? Okay. Well, we'll see what happens next time there's no bodyguards around. See, this, people believing, just believing without actually stopping to test. Like, sometimes it's as simple as literally just testing. And we know from the Scientologists, like, we're not testing. Like, I put a thing out yesterday for any Scientologist, aka Globelings, to just do a diagram of the path of light from a star, some billions of years. They can choose how many millions, up to them. The path of the light to the earth. And they can't do it. Where's my pad? Here. Not pad, thing. They can't say earth, star, light. They can't do that because it's moving, see? Moving. Millions of years. Moving. Light must emit at point A to be received at point B, being millions of years later. A path must have happened. Just draw that path. And they can't, because when they sit to draw it, they start seeing how absurd it is. It's just absurd. Flat Earth Bear. We differ in perspective of what George was imparting to the masses. We do. That's okay. You know, there's no offence taken by me. None should be taken by you either, or anybody else. Anybody who differs. Who was I listening to? Theory Epiphasis yesterday saying, when you debate people, they think that when you're demolishing their beliefs, you're demolishing them. Like, no. If you prove that something someone believes is false, you've not damaged their soul. In fact, you've unburdened them. Yeah, you were walking around carrying this, oh, a witch is going to get me thing. And now you know, no, witches can't get you. Now you don't have to carry that about. And this, a witch is going to get me, which is childish thought. A witch is going to get me. Tweak it a little bit. God is going to get you. That's right, God is going to get you. Why? Because he didn't say Jesus was Lord. See, you didn't say Jesus was Lord. So God's going to get you and fuck you right up. That's right, he's going to bring evil to you. Hey, that's not a very good thing from a good entity to do. That's right. Is it Isaiah 11:11, something like that? Or Ezekiel 11:11? And I will bring great evil to them, saith the Lord. Huh. Wait a minute, how will you bring great evil? Will you go... Hello? Hi, is that Lucifer? Chinese takeaway. Lucifer, I know it's you. What do you want, you? I want you to go and present great evil to them. To who? The guys who say that Jesus isn't Lord. What are you doing? I'm writing it down. Jesus isn't Lord. Present evil to them. Okay, when do you want me to present evil to them? Next week! Okay, it's done. Wait, you really will do it, won't you? You're not just tricking me again. Okay, I am tricking you. I'm not going to do it. That's how it, I mean, that's what they have to think happens. Yeah, God sitting there in his worldly goodness going, oh, guys, I'm going to present some evil to them. That's right, I'm going to present some evil to them. I love doing these role-playing things because they just make things so ridiculously absurd. Yeah, hey, so this happened, right? One day, I was listening on my phone. This is one person telling another person. Listening on my phone, suddenly, the line gets diverted, and I'm hearing this meeting going on in some kind of hall. Oh yeah, what was going on? Well, this is what was going on, right? I wrote it down. It says here, you, where have you been? And another guy goes, I've been going to and fro and walking on the earth. Oh yeah? What else have you been doing? I've been looking at what people do. Oh yeah? What do you think of my friend Job? Oh, I think he's pretty sexy. Yeah, yeah. But I bet he wouldn't be so sexy. And that's it, the Book of Job. Wait a minute, is my transmission stopped? No. The Book of Job. Yeah, because Job, he had all these things. He thought, great, God is my friend, and it's all great. Along comes the devil, messes with him. Like, oh, everything's going bad. God, can you stop things going bad? God's like, can't hear you. Oh, unfollow. Job is like, God, please stop all this hell that's happening right now. And God's like, can't hear you. Nah, Say it again. Say it. Go on, say it again. Yeah. Now if see what I mean about very intelligent people writing fuckery as jokes for each other and outdoing each other. And it's a context that, I mean, there's no nobody's put it in that context. I'm putting it in that context. Like, hey, look, it does look like people are just writing out doing each other in the real world, in real historicity. There's historicity to them, writing and crafting and outdoing each other. I think they were outdoing each other with humour. They were trying, like, I tell you what, I'm going to tell you a big, long, boring story, and at the end I'm going to say, aha! So that's what, long story, oh God, how does this go? Son of God. Anyway, so, Scientology and Flat Earth. All the globelings are Scientologists. All of them are Scientologists. All the ones listening now, you might not know this. You're a Scientologist. Your faith is the faith that says there's a Xenu that came to Earth from outer space, from another planet. That's right. Nothing can come from outer space from another planet. Your religion says, yes, it can. Like, nope, can't really, because it's like not really true. Just made up by a science fiction writer. Yeah, so deal with it. And I'm going to wrap up now because my throat's aching a bit. With the whole Scientology, which at the start of this, I just walked through how it happened. Dead simple. A geeky nerd called Marvel. That was his name, Marvel. Like, he's not going to get bullied at school. Marvel, very fascinated with rockets and stuff, meets a dodgy guy who says, hey, you can, anything you want to think, you can make it real. I want to think space and I'm great. And along comes another guy who says, hey, your thoughts of space and you being great, they're all true. Yeah, this, yeah. And that's what we have. NASA saying space and stuff. It's Scientology. And the reason that the Scientologists don't like people who leave Scientology is because the people who leave Scientology make Scientology look ridiculous by virtue of leaving and saying, and they do all these things. And we pondlings, we flat earth pondlings, we've left the globe cult and we go, and they're full of shit. You know what they say about the stars? Yeah, moving farther away because moving closer to. They say stuff like that, like straight out, same line. You can't go faster than light, but this is how you can go faster than light. Yes, things like that. You can see it's just straightforward, not true. And the Scientologists don't like people saying it's not true because it threatens their religion. Scientology versus the flat earth, the globe versus the flat earth. That's all it is. Right, guys, now I'm quitting. Thank you very much for your time. Adeu. Shalom.